Okay, let's get into it. We're all kind of swimming in this sea of likes, comments, right? This constant low-key pressure to be seen, to get that nod of approval.
It's everywhere. Social media, obviously, but also, in our relationships, our work, our social circles.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we really want to unpack why chasing that external pat on the back, well, why it can leave you feeling kind of hollow.
Right. And more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
Yes. How you can shift that focus, that energy into building things that actually matter in the real world.
We're talking tangible stuff, like actual skills people pay for.
Uh-huh. Real income, security, a network that genuinely has your back, even assets, things you own.
Stuff with long-term worth.
Totally. We've looked at some, frankly, really insightful stories and some advice you can actually use.
Yeah, actionable things.
And honestly, one thing that jumped out at me straight away is this. All those hearts, the fire emojis, the thumbs ups.
Feels good in the moment.
It does. But they don't pay the rent, do they? It's like our brains get hooked on these tiny little hits.
Empty calories, basically, for your self-worth.
That's a great way to put it, empty calories. So let's talk about that validation trap.
It's so easy to get caught. I mean, the barrier to entry is, well, non-existent, isn't it?
Right. A quick post, maybe a clever comment.
And boom, that little flood of digital nods. It feels, instantly rewarding. Superficially, it's just someone seeing your thing.
But what's really going on there? Because you get that ping, that notification, and your brain lights up a bit.
Dopamine hit. It's designed to be addictive.
Yeah.
But it's often just an illusion of value.
Illusion. Okay, explain that.
Well, that beta comment, flattering, sure. But does it translate to respect in your field? Does it give you leverage you can actually use? Does it build real security?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about Bianca, whose story we'll get into. She had, what, 180,000 followers?
Yeah, huge following.
Bought her lots of praise, lots of attention, but it was her UX certification, a tangible skill, that actually bought her financial freedom. Big difference between applause and assets.
And I think so many people hit that wall eventually. They have the likes, maybe even the attention, but there's this emptiness, this feeling of, okay, what am I actually building here?
That's the turning point, isn't it?
Yeah.
That moment of doubt.
Yeah, when you start questioning it all.
You start looking past the next notification, the next post, and ask yourself, okay, looking ahead, what do I actually own? Who am I really helping? Like in a meaningful way.
Right.
And what am I building that I'm genuinely proud of? Something that exists even if the internet switched off tomorrow.
That really brings us neatly to Bianca's story. I found it super compelling. She's 25, built this massive online presence, 180,000 followers.
Which sounds like success, right?
Yeah.
Especially today.
Totally. She was even making decent money from brand deals. On paper, she'd made it as an influencer.
But that kind of success, it's often built on shaky ground. Her value, her income, it was all tied to keeping up this online persona.
Constantly performing.
Constantly creating content, staying relevant, feeding the algorithm. It's exhausting and it's precarious.
And then came the wake-up call, the really harsh one.
Missing rent.
Yeah. She missed a rent payment. And this was right after a post got thousands, literally thousands of likes. That digital engagement just didn't convert to cash when she needed it.
Oof. That's a stark illustration, isn't it? The gap between perceived success online and, well, actual reality.
It hit her hard.
And that was the catalyst. That was the moment she realized something had to change fundamentally.
So she did something pretty radical, actually. She took 6 months completely off, like logged off, stepped away from the pressure.
Wow, that takes courage, especially when your income seems tied to being online.
Right. And during that time, she didn't just relax, she invested in herself. Got certified in UX design.
User experience design. That's about making websites, apps, digital stuff easy and enjoyable to use.
Exactly. A really valuable, in-demand skill right now. And she started building a freelance business based on that skill from scratch.
And that's the pivot. That's the shift from chasing external validation, the followers, to building internal value. Real marketable skills.
She put her energy into mastery, not just metrics.
Precisely.
And the outcome. It speaks for itself, really. Her follower count dropped significantly, down to around 50,000.
Which probably felt scary at first.
I bet. But here's the thing. She's now earning a six-figure income from her freelance UX work.
Wow.
6 figures. Plus, she's investing that money, like, in real estate.
Yeah.
And she's even started coaching other women on how to build what she calls off-camera value.
That's incredible. It's a total transformation. Her source of power completely shifted.
How do you mean?
Well, before, her perceived power came from the audience, from how many people were watching her. Fleeting, dependent. Now, her power comes from her skills, her financial independence, her ability to deliver real results for clients. That's solid, sustainable.
Absolutely. So let's pull out the key lessons here from Bianca's journey, things that you listening can maybe start thinking about. First big one, shifting from metrics to mastery.
Yes. Stop obsessing over the vanity metrics, the likes, the views, the follower count,
And start focusing on what?
on acquiring real skills, on achieving measurable results that matter in the actual world. It changes the question from how many people like this
So
to
what did I actually accomplish? Or what skill did I sharpen today?
exactly. It's about your internal progress, not just external applause.
Okay, second shift. From performance to purpose.
This is about changing why you do things. Instead of always thinking, who's watching me? What do they want to see?
You start asking.
Who am I helping? Or what problem am I solving? It shifts your focus to contribution, to making an impact.
Which feels way more meaningful in the long run, right?
Definitely. The satisfaction you get from genuinely helping someone or creating something useful that lasts so much longer than a fleeting like.
Okay, and the third key shift. From flash to foundation.
Stop chasing the quick hit, the viral moment, the temporary spotlight.
And instead,
Focus on building something solid, something sustainable, something that creates value even when you're offline, even when you're not actively performing.
it's like building a house versus setting off a firework.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Fireworks are bright, grab attention, gone in seconds. A house.
Okay.
That takes effort, planning, solid materials, but it provides lasting shelter, security, real value. Your skills, your network, your real-world impact. That's the foundation.
Love that. Okay, so we've laid out the problem. We've seen Bianca's amazing pivot. How can you, listening right now, start making this shift?
Let's make it practical.
Right, we've got a few concrete steps. Let's call it the Dangerous Girl Challenge, but it's for everyone, obviously. Actionable steps for this week. Step 1, delete one app. Just one. Pick an app on your phone that you know sucks up your time and often makes you feel kind of worse afterwards, more focused on what others think.
Yeah, be honest with yourself about which one that is. This isn't about deleting all social media, maybe just the one that's most detrimental to your focus or confidence. It's about creating space.
Claiming attention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, step 2, commit to learning one skill this week. Just start. One skill that could potentially be monetized down the line.
And the key here is don't let money be the excuse.
No way. There are tons of amazing resources. YouTube is packed with tutorials. Sites like Udemy or Coursera have low-cost courses. Even just using AI tools like ChatGPT to ask questions and learn.
The information is out there. You just need to commit a little time. The focus is shifting your brain from just consuming content to actively building a capability.
Building value. Okay, step 3, final challenge for the week. Post something. Somewhere. But post something that showcases a skill you have or value you bring, not just how you look. Start building the kind of personal brand online that reflects competence, the kind of person you would actually want to hire or collaborate with.
It's about signaling that shift, showing your substance, not just your surface, demonstrating what you can do.
Okay, great steps. Now, this actually leads perfectly into a question we got from Leela in Miami.
Oh, good.
Leela asks, how do I build value when I feel like I have nothing to offer yet?
Ah, that's such a common feeling, Leela, and a really important question. The thing is, value isn't usually something you just have innately. It's something you build actively over time.
So where does someone like Leela start if they feel like they're at ground zero?
Start small, seriously small. Focus on solving tiny problems, maybe even just for yourself initially, and lean into your curiosity. What genuinely interests you? What things frustrate you that maybe, just maybe, you could figure out a better way to do?
So it's not about waiting for some grand purpose to reveal itself.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Don't wait to feel like you have this perfectly packaged offering. Just start exploring, start tinkering. Try to fix a small annoyance. That action is often what sparks the learning.
The learning leads to skills. The skills become value.
Exactly. You learn by doing. Every single expert in any field was once a complete beginner fumbling around. Value is built brick by brick through effort, curiosity, and just showing up consistently. Start where you are.
Great advice. Okay, so let's try and bring this all together then. The core message here is pretty clear, isn't it?
I think so. If you're feeling that pull, that maybe dissatisfaction from constantly chasing likes or approval,
That feeling of running hard but not really getting anywhere solid.
it's probably time for a conscious shift. Redirect that energy. Turn it inwards.
Focus on developing yourself, your skills, your knowledge, the tangible value you can create, building something real.
Absolutely. And remember, it's genuinely never too late to start building that real leverage, to become that version of yourself who commands respect, who gets opportunities, not just because you're visible online.
But because of what you can actually do,
Yeah,
because of the solid value you bring to the table.
precisely.
Okay, so we'll leave you with this thought to mull over. What really is the difference, when all is said and done, between just being seen and being truly valued?